What's up guys, I'm going to compare 6 of these 4K streaming devices from the most budget-friendly ON 4K Pro to the most expensive NVIDIA Shield TV Pro and everything in between. Let's get started. Starting off with the most budget-friendly, the ON 4K Pro, kind of looks like a squared-off Nest Mini. We got the Find My Remote button in the front. We got the microphone off or microphone on because it does have hands-free controls. We got reset, 100 megabits per second Ethernet, HDMI, USB 3.0, and power. Then we got the Roku Ultra 2024. We got a USB 3.0 HDMI, 100 megabits per second Ethernet as well. And we got the power port. We got the Find My Remote button on the side. We got the little infrared. And we have a factory reset on the bottom. Moving on to the Google TV Streamer 4K, we got a Find My Remote button, USB-C supports power, we got a gigabit Ethernet connection, and HDMI. Next, we move on to the Fire TV Cube 3rd generation. This is kind of like an Echo built-in streaming device. We got the standard Echo buttons, the mute button for Alexa, we got the plus and minus for the volume controls, and we got the action button right here. And we have 2 HDMI ports. Now, you only really need to use the HDMI out unless you want something to pass through to this, which it can support. So, for example, if you have a TV that has no more HDMI ports, you can actually unplug something. Let's say you have a Nintendo Switch hooked up to it. You can unplug the Nintendo Switch and plug it through this, and it'll actually go out from this and go to your TV. So this supports a pass-through. And you can also just use this regularly like that as well. We got the infrared extender, the power, we got a USB 2.0, and this is a 100 megabits per second Ethernet connection as well, up to. And then we get to the sleek Apple TV 4K, and the reason why I say sleek, because it's very compact, it's very nice, it's very simplified. We got the power, we got a gigabit Ethernet port, and we got the HDMI. Now, there are 2 Apple TV 4K versions. This is the slightly more expensive version because it has the gigabit Ethernet. It also has more storage as well. Now, the cool thing about the Apple TV 4K is even though it's really small in size, it also has the built-in AC to DC converter because the power plug for this is just a wire. So when I compare the power plugs, you guys will see. And then we have the mighty NVIDIA Shield TV Pro. This thing has 2 USB 3.0 ports. We got an HDMI. We also have a gigabit Ethernet connection for this, and we got the power. Now the power looks like it's USB-C, but it's not. They all can control your TV, assuming your TV has HDMI CEC, and that's enabled, which has been around for a number of years. So for example, if I'm watching something using the Apple TV, I don't need to get my TV remote to turn it on. I could literally turn it on with this, or if I hit the home button, it'll actually turn it on and take me to the home page. I can also do volume controls, which is true for all of these. A lot of similarities, the voice button, so you can hold that to give it voice commands, and some of these has a few extra buttons. So basically the on, the Roku, the Google, and the Amazon, and in fact the NVIDIA. In fact, all of them do except the Apple have the quick launch icons to open up certain apps. So some of these have more, like the on, Roku, and Amazon have the most. These 2, the Google and NVIDIA, also have it, but less. Apple TV has none. There's also some customized buttons. So with the on, you get a customized button. You can have it do a custom action. Roku has it with the rocket button. Google here. Amazon does not have it on this remote. Apple does not have it. And with the NVIDIA Shield, you can actually customize this. If you hold it, it could do a certain action. If you double click, it could do a certain action. And if you click once, it could do a certain action. So depending on what you want to set it up for. And some of these are backlit. So the on is backlit, the Roku is backlit, and the NVIDIA Shield is backlit. These 3 are not backlit. And some of them have Find My Remote features. In fact, all of them do except the Amazon one. However, I should mention with the Apple one, it doesn't make a sound. You actually also need an iPhone, a later version iPhone, and it kind of finds it like an AirTag. So it's not the best in terms of Find My Remote, where the rest are a lot better, where it actually makes a noise and stuff. Go to Remote and Accessories. You click on Shield Accessories. You click on Shield Remote 1, or the remote that you have, and you click on Find this remote. All of them use 2 AAAs except the Roku and the Apple TV. These are charged via USB-C. And if you happen to like the Fire TV Cube and you're like, it would be nice if I had a Find My Remote, they do have a Voice Remote Pro that does have a Find My Remote feature that can be mapped to it. Find My Remote. It also has 2 customizable buttons. And these are the respective power supplies. The exceptions are that the Google TV uses USB-C, which is fantastic, and Apple TV doesn't require a wall brick, which is basically the AC to DC converter. We're going to start with the On 4K Pro. It uses the Google TV user interface, and it's pretty much going to be identical to the Google TV Streamer 4K. I mean, I'll say similar because there might be some different pre-installed apps, but you guys will see it's a very, very similar interface. They both use the Google TV UI basically. NVIDIA Shield also uses it as well, but it looks a little more different on the NVIDIA Shield. But I'm scrolling through just so you guys could see how smooth it is, because I'm genuinely very impressed for the price of this box. I'm genuinely very, very impressed. I was not expecting it to be this smooth. So up on the top, we got the For You section, we got the Live section. So if you want to watch live TV, you would go here. And then there's the guide. Some of them require apps to be installed, and some of them do not. So if it's part of the Google TV Free Play, it doesn't require it. So if I click on this, I press OK, it should load from the internet and it should start playing, as you guys saw right there. Now some of them, it will require an app. This section says free channels from apps. So if I click on this, well, this one worked, but some of them require Pluto TV basically. So I don't really watch live TV, but I just wanted to show that to you guys. And then you got that whole app section where you could search for search for apps and games. I'm like, search for stuff, and then I said stub. And then you got your library, which is the YouTube library. So if you've purchased anything off YouTube, it should show up here. So in the For You section, this is kind of where I'm mainly at, and I'm usually playing with these apps. You can also reorder them if you don't like the order. So if you click on reorder, you could select this one, move it left and right, press OK, and then go to done when you're done. All right, so let's kick off an internet speed test because I'm currently on Wi-Fi 6. In fact, I just did one, but let's just do one live. So this box, if you have a fast enough Wi-Fi router and if you have fast enough internet, it can actually go faster on Wi-Fi than it can go on Ethernet, because the Ethernet is actually limited to 100 megabits per second. Whereas Wi-Fi, because it's Wi-Fi 6 and it's pretty close to my router, it's getting pretty good speed. So 522 down, and this will vary based on your internet speeds. I should say that because my internet speeds are very fast. They're 5 gigabits per second upload and download. So compared to what I can get, these are slow speeds. So if I were to take out the phone, take out my OnePlus 12, and I do a speed test on that, it will go much, much, much faster than this. But for getting 522 down and 462 up, especially to download, I can pretty much watch just about anything that I would need to. So let's do another test because I just connected it with Ethernet. So this test is going to be just under 100 megabits per second. So technically on Wi-Fi I can go faster. Now this is going to hold true for the other devices as well that only have 100 megabits per second internet connections. So for this, to make the video a little bit shorter, I will not do speed test on the other devices that have an Ethernet port of up to 100 megabits per second. I will do an internet speed test on them on Wi-Fi just to show you guys the Wi-Fi speeds, but on all the internet speed tests I get just right around 100 megabits per second, which is what I would expect. Again, this also depends on your internet speed. So you obviously have to have at least 100 megabits per second internet speeds to actually get these speeds. Let's go on this one. And then I'll just fast forward it and rewind it just to show you guys how quickly things load. So this is the first time loading Netflix. The first time you load it, it loads a little bit slower. But once it's been opened up, the second time around, it's actually much, much faster. So let's click on OK. 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 So it didn't actually go to that movie. OK, let me just fast forward on this. Press OK. So loaded super, super fast. So now we're going to use the Google Assistant to search for something. So I could either hold down the microphone button right here, or I could say those 2 magic words. But to prevent any home speakers from going off, I'll just hold down this button and say Top Gun Maverick. Now here's the issue with this thing. So it found it, which is fantastic, right? Found it right away. Fantastic. However, it's only showing it's available on Paramount Plus, Google TV Rent, and Google TV Buy. It's not showing the other ones where hey, I've actually purchased it on Prime Video, and here's the kicker. It's actually right here because I clicked on it earlier to play it, but basically if I go here and press play, I press OK, because I've purchased it on Amazon, it's not seeing it, but if I press play, I could watch the movie. And let's do a fast forward test just to see how fast things load. So let's press OK. So Netflix was a little bit faster to load, but that's typically what I see, but still overall fairly fast loading. But if you're searching for something that's available to all Prime members like Reacher, it will find that. So or Red One. So if I was searching for Red One, it would find that. So if I said Red One, it would actually find that because it says Prime Watch Now. Right there on the left, it says Prime Watch Now. If I press OK, it'll actually take me here because it's free for everyone. Everyone who has a Prime membership, it's included. That's why it actually shows up. Next up, we got the Roku, and it's a very different interface. It also gives you a lot of customization options, which I'll show you guys. So on the home, this is where most of your apps are. This is where I usually go. I click on something. You can also reorganize stuff by clicking on the asterisk on the actual remote and clicking on Move App. And then you can organize things, move it up and down, select it, and then you're good to go. So in terms of a speed test, we can open up Netflix, and I can press play on a movie. Again, the first time when you open it, it opens up a little bit slowly, but the second time around, it opens it up much quicker. So I will show you guys on this. So we'll click OK, and let's click on Falling for Christmas. Press play. So let's fast forward. Netflix is usually pretty fast when it comes to loading. I mean, that's essentially almost instantaneous. And again, this also depends on your internet speeds, your router. So all of these things can make a difference. All right, so then you have the live TV section. You could check on the channel guide and see that. I'll also show you guys the Roku channel. That's what's special about the Roku. So you could click on stuff. You could click on press OK. You could change channels pretty quickly. This one seems like it's a little bit faster in terms of changing channels. Obviously, if you want to search for stuff, you can also search using your voice. So you could say Top Gun Maverick. So it found it. I press OK. And then it finds 4 other ways to watch. Now, this one does a better job of finding that, hey, it's also available on Prime Video. And but it says from $3.99. Again, it doesn't know that I purchased it. So if I click on this, it will open up Prime. And then I could click on it and press play. So I have to go through this whole process again. So again, if you're in that ecosystem, then it presses play. And then let's see the fast forward. Let's see if this one is a bit quicker. So let's press OK. Oh, this one was super fast. And then let me show you guys settings before I show you guys the other things. So if I click on theme, I can actually, they have theme packs that you can download and then different wallpapers, and I could select this one. It sets it, and even the noise is different when I move around the UI. Again, you could choose wallpapers. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch that you could choose from. So if you're looking at customization, this one has a lot. I also like this UI tank for the screensaver, the fish tank for the screensaver as well. So there's in terms of customization, I think Roku is definitely #1 on that list. And then let me show you guys. Let's actually do a speed test. If I click on network, and I'm going to do check connection. So I realize it's not the same server that's doing it, so the results can vary a bit, but just to give you guys just a frame of reference. And I'm not going to do the Ethernet test because it's just going to be limited to 100 megabits per second. That's what it's going to show. So this one on the bottom right, it says internet download speed. It says good, and it's just under 400 megabits per second. So in fact, I actually got slower speeds on this than I did with the other one. The cool thing about the Roku is you get the Roku channel, And with the Roku channel, there's a bunch of free movies you can watch that's with ads. There's also some shows and stuff too. So like I could click on this, press OK, and then there are some ads that it will show up, but I mean there's a bunch of free stuff that you could watch. Again, that little diamond on the timeline, that's when there's going to be an ad. So basically there's going to be an ad right around here, and then there's going to be another one in this video. So you kind of know how many ads there will be. But from a free content perspective, Roku is definitely the best on the list. Alright, so now I got the Google TV Pro set up. Very similar interface to the On 4K Pro. It's pretty much exactly the same. And I'm just doing a scroll test just so you guys could see how fast this thing moves. So let's go here. So very, very smooth, very fast. Let's just do a Netflix movie just to see how fast things load. And I will skip the whole like showing you guys the Google voice commands, because it's pretty much exactly the same as the On 4K Pro, with the exception that you can't say those two magic words. You actually do need to use the remote. But Netflix loads really fast. Let's try Prime Video, because Prime Video is typically a little bit slower. So let's do Red 1. So Prime Video loads a little bit slower. I want to see if it's going to load as fast as the Roku or not. I imagine it's not, but let's just see what happens.
Wait. You don't mean. Yes.
So it loaded pretty fast. So now let's fast forward. Press OK. Okay, it wasn't bad. And I'm going to do a speed test via Ethernet because this is actually a gigabit connection. So I'm going to kick this off. We're going to see if we can actually get those full gig download speeds as well as the full gig upload speeds. Now, it's not a one-to-one with the Roku, but it is using the same app as the On 4K Pro. So I did a speed test earlier and I was getting right around these speeds. So 711 down, and the upload did reach all the way up when I ran it earlier. And yeah, it looks like it's happening again. So I got 711 down and 974 up. I was hoping I would get the full gigabit download speeds, but not quite getting it. Again, it could be from the server as well, but I am using the same one as the On 4K Pro. Well, I don't know if it's actually connecting to the same server or not, but I ran this test earlier and got pretty similar results. So now I'm going to disconnect the Ethernet cable and we'll do a Wi-Fi test. Now, the Wi-Fi on this is Wi-Fi 5, which is typically not going to be as fast as Wi-Fi 6. However, I have seen Wi-Fi 5 go faster than Wi-Fi 6 in the past. So we'll give it a second, and then I'll click start again, and let's see what happens. So again, the internet speeds depend on your actual internet. So my internet speeds are a lot faster than this. So these devices are not capped. They're capped by their own hardware and their own connections. So because the router I'm using is very fast, I'm using the Netgear Orbi 970, which is a fantastic mesh system. And again, my internet speeds are 5 gigabits per second upload and download. So very, very fast internet connection speeds. So I got 416 down, and I'm getting right around that for the upload. So it looks like 380 right now. And so the On 4K Pro actually did better on the internet speed test, mostly because it's a Wi-Fi 6 device. But again, I have seen Wi-Fi 5 go faster than Wi-Fi 6 at times. Now we get to the Fire TV Cube, and it's a very different interface, and this I would say is the busiest interface from all of them, but it's scrolling pretty smoothly, as you guys could see, and there's a lot here. So if I scroll to the right, so there's a lot here, and it's going pretty smoothly. It goes at a slower pace than the Google one when I'm scrolling to the sides, but it's still fairly smooth. So the benefit of the Fire TV Cube is that because most of my movies happen to be purchased on Amazon, it finds stuff right away. So if I were searching for Top Gun Maverick, it would find it here and it would know I purchased it. So I could say Top Gun Maverick, and it would find it, and I'd press OK. And we could click on more ways to watch. So again, it's just finding it on Paramount Plus. So if you did purchase it on YouTube Video, it's not going to see that you purchased it on that. So it goes back to the ecosystem. But because I watched it, but because I purchased it on Amazon, it finds it right away. So there's a big advantage to me for using the Fire TV Cube, because I could just use that. So let's do a fast forward test. Let's see how fast it loads. All right, that was super fast. That was super fast. Now let's open up Netflix. I'll just use the Netflix key. So the first time it opens, again, it opens up a little bit slower, and then the second time around, it opens it up much quicker. So let's click on kids. Just press play on something. Sure. Let's do play from beginning, and let's do a fast forward. Okay, this one's also very fast. It looks like Netflix is fast on all the streaming devices. So this is one of the other ones that only can go up to 100 megabits per second on the Ethernet. So I'm not going to do an internet speed test on that. However, I will do an internet speed test on the actual Wi-Fi, because this one is technically on Wi-Fi 6. In fact, Wi-Fi 6E actually, not Wi-Fi 6. So let's see how fast it goes. So I think this is getting pretty similar speeds to the ON 4K Pro in terms of down. So it's a little bit faster than the Google TV, also a little bit faster than the Roku, but the Roku's using a whole different other way of doing it, so but still technically faster. So we got pretty much like 500 down, 500 up. Again, if I connect the Ethernet, I'm going to get just under 100 megabits per second. Now this one also has the live TV, so you could click on that. There's a whole guide, or you could actually just click on the channels right here. So you could press OK, and it takes a second to load. And then this is the live TV. So again, this has a whole guide and everything as well like that. So if I click the little TV guide out, it just loads up. Everything's right here. And then you could like scroll and click on stuff and everything like that. And then just press OK. And let's just see how fast that loads. I felt like Roku was loading faster. So there it is. Okay. Now with the Amazon, they offer Luna, which is their cloud gaming services. This requires a separate subscription. But if you have that, you can actually play games on this thing. So we got the app open. I have the Amazon controller connected, so this doesn't come with that. This is a separate purchase. However, you could use an Xbox controller or another controller as well. So there's some compatible controllers you can use. And I do have a subscription to Luna Plus, so if I press A on this, this shows me all the games that I can actually play because I have that subscription. So in fact, let's just play let me show you guys how many games. So there's a bunch of games. They're not all, you know, amazing games or anything like that, but there's some decent games in here. So let's play Garfield Kart. I'll press play. And this is all playing on the cloud, so you do want a good connection to the internet.
Few moments later.
Alright, not the best graphics, I have to admit. Alright, so we got another game. Again, not the best graphics. The graphics aren't too bad for this game, but there is some lag every now and then. You can also sign up for Ubisoft Plus, which is a different subscription, and they have a lot more games, as you guys could see. And they also have Prime Gaming. This is the one where if you're a Prime member, they give you some free games that you can play as well. Now, one unique thing you could do with the Fire TV is if you have Ring cameras, you could say, show front door cam. So as long as you say the camera name correctly, it will load it up. You can even talk through it. You can also put it in picture, and you could say, dismiss picture in picture. Okay. Now you can also do this with the Google TV if you have Nest cameras. I don't have any Nest cameras, but you can do it if you have Nest cameras. So we got the Apple TV set up. It's a very clean and organized look, very similar to an iPhone or an iPad. Very, very clean. And then you got the App Store. And what I really like about this App Store is you can actually get apps like the speed test app, which is the one that I typically like to run. So I'm connected via Ethernet right now. We're going to do a speed test, see what numbers we get. So, okay, we're getting some pretty good numbers, 840. I was hoping we'd get faster than that, but actually we're getting pretty close to it. Okay, 880 down and just about 940 up. So we're getting pretty close to those gigabit speeds, not quite there, but very, very close. The closest so far from all the ones that I've tested. And then I will unplug it. And then we'll do a Wi-Fi test. And again, I really like the fact that it has a gigabit Ethernet port. So no network detected. Check your internet connection. Let's actually double click and close that and then go back to it. Hopefully it connected by now. And then let's run the server. So, okay. So we're getting some really good speeds over Wi-Fi as well. So that's right off the bat, Apple has really good hardware in it. So the Apple TV, I should say, has really good hardware in it. So we got 811 down and we're getting over 600 up basically. So hands down, this got the best speed test results. And again, it depends on the server and everything. But I really like for internet speed tests, I test a whole bunch of routers and everything. And for the internet speed test, I always use the speed test app. So with the local speed test, I do something else. But with this one, clearly this is faster than the rest. And even on Wi-Fi, we're going to do some speeds just to show you guys. Because this thing naturally loads faster and smoother. So I feel like the apps load faster. I'm going to click play. Okay, that started playing right away, so let's fast forward this. I mean, it's basically like going along with me, so I'm going to press OK. It was basically instantaneous when it came to loading. And then let's check Prime Video, because that's one where, you know, with some of them it took like a second or two, or up to 3 seconds. So let's do... Let's do Chosen. Let's click resume. Let's do fast forward. Alright, that was instant. That was amazing how fast that was. This is on Wi-Fi. Okay, so this is clearly the fastest. And again, it's on Wi-Fi. It's not even on Ethernet. Granted, I can't see it going much faster than that. You can also get Steam Link if you wanted to. Steam Link. And if you have a Steam account, you can download this. And I don't know if every game is compatible with it, but you could basically connect this to another computer on your LAN or on your local area network, and you can actually access some of those games and play it straight on this. So you could do that as well. And this, just like the other ones, we're going to do this Top Gun Maverick. It's not going to find that I've purchased it on Amazon. So it says Paramount Plus, and it just says buy or rent. So if I click buy or rent, it's just going to give me Apple TV as the only option. So again, this is kind of geared towards if you have a lot of movies in the Apple ecosystem, this is typically the way to go because it will find it. But even though, again, I have it on Prime, it doesn't see it just like the rest. So part of picking a streaming device is picking which ecosystem you're in. And finally, we get to the NVIDIA Shield. So this also has the Google TV interface. So it looks very similar to the Google TV streamer and the On 4K Pro. I mean, a little bit different, but very, very similar. Again, same interface. So let's do a speed test because we're currently on Wi-Fi. In fact, I did one earlier, but let's just kick it off again. And then I will do one with Ethernet because this one actually supports gigabit Ethernet speeds. Now, the cool thing about the streamer is that it has two USB 3.0 ports, and I can literally connect a mouse and a keyboard. I can connect an Xbox controller. I could connect a PlayStation controller to it, and I can actually game with this stuff as well. So I'm going to show you guys a GeForce Now demo with this. In fact, I actually signed up for the Ultimate plan just for the sake of this video, just to show you guys, because when you don't have that, there's too long of a line to play, and there's a lot of limitations. So we got 470 down, 428 up, not too bad. All right, so I connected it via Ethernet. Let's click start again, and let's see what kind of speeds we get. So the main advantage of the NVIDIA streamer, not the NVIDIA streamer, the NVIDIA Shield, like I'm like messing up because like I've just tested too many of these. The NVIDIA Shield TV Pro is if you're planning on gaming, because this is the absolute best one for gaming. However, you pretty much almost need to sign up for GeForce Now for it to actually be playable if you want to use that. So speed test got just about 700 megabits per second download and 970 up. So overall, the fastest one still is the Apple TV 4K from all the speed tests that we've done. Now, let's load up some videos. Let's see which one loads up quickly. So Prime is typically on the slower end. The only one that it was fast on was the Fire TV and the Apple TV. I feel like the Apple TV was the fastest, even faster than the Fire TV.
All of this? I wouldn't mind being.
So let's fast forward. They all have different fast forward options. With this one, you have to hold it. Oh, I didn't click OK. I was like, wow, that's taking so long. Okay, it's pretty fast. With this one, you have to hold it because they're all kind of different. Some of them you have to keep tapping it. Okay, it's loading pretty quick. I would say the Apple TV was a little bit faster, but this one wasn't too bad. And let's check if we have something on Netflix. Let's do this Christmas movie. Press play. Loaded pretty quick. Let's do a fast forward. Pretty fast. Pretty fast. I would still say, I mean, I'm just being nitpicky here, but I would say the Apple TV seemed like it was the fastest overall. I got my Xbox controller, connected it to the NVIDIA Shield, and we're going to open up GeForce Now. This is literally the main reason to get an NVIDIA Shield, because of this GeForce Now. However, there are some things I should mention. Right off the bat, you need to own the game to be able to play it, okay? Now, there are some free games like this one right here, but most of the games you need to either own it or buy it outright. So I have some games on Xbox, so I just linked my account and I can actually play Forza Horizon 5. So when you first get this, you're placed on a queue. And when I first got it, I didn't sign up for GeForce Now. I was placed on a queue and I was like 140th in line. And I waited 15, 20 minutes and then I got down to, I don't know, it was the 20s or 30s, and it still wasn't my turn to play. And I was like, you know what, this is not really all that fun if I want to play a game and then I have to wait 15 to 20 minutes or 25 minutes to play the game. So that to me is not really a good option. So I'm like, you know what, let me just sign up for their subscription. So I signed up for the GeForce Now Ultimate plan, which allows me to play 4K content. So I'm on that right now. There was a tad bit of a lag right there and right there as well, if you guys saw that. But for the most part, it's pretty lag free. There are some instances like that it happens, but for the most part, it does play pretty smoothly and it is 4K. So overall, I am pretty impressed with the fact that I'm playing this on the cloud. It's very impressive. But with all that said, I'm not a fan of paying $20 a month, which is currently what it's going for. I'm not a fan of paying $20 a month to play a game I already own. I already have an Xbox, so there's no reason for me to pay that money, play it on this. In fact, on the Xbox, I think it might be a placebo effect, but I feel like on the Xbox, the game looks a little bit better on the Xbox. I also have a fairly powerful computer. I could play it on that as well. So there's really no reason for me to pay to use GeForce Now. So with that said, let's end this with a summary. Okay, so best performance per price goes to the ON 4K Pro. For the retail price of $50, you're getting a lot. You're getting hands-free Alexa, you're getting Find My Remote, you're getting backlit remote. It works really well. I mean, it's not perfect, but overall, it's really, really good. You even have a USB port if you want to expand some storage, you could do that. So overall, I think fantastic for the price. Is it my favorite? No, and I don't know if you guys noticed the lag over there as well, just a little bit earlier. Is it my favorite? No. It's not my favorite, even though it's fantastic. And in fact, all of them are fantastic in their own ways. So Roku has that advantage that you get a lot of free content to watch, which is great. You know, the Fire TV, if you're in the Amazon ecosystem, that's great. It also loaded Amazon stuff pretty quickly. So there's, you know, different reasons to get different stuff. But I would say the top two streaming devices are the NVIDIA Shield and the Apple TV 4K. So, and between those two, because I don't see a need to get GeForce Now, I will say the Apple TV 4K is the best one, in my opinion. It loaded the fastest, it had the cleanest interface, it just works. And it works really, really good. In fact, that's the one I've been using the most. So the fact that I keep using that one and I'm not replacing it with any of the other ones just goes to show you that for me at least is the best one. Now, if I was paying for GeForce Now, hands down I would get the NVIDIA Shield, because that would just be a really good reason to pick this thing up. But if I don't have NVIDIA Shield, you know, should I get, you know, I mean, I would still say NVIDIA Shield is still a really good streaming player. I mean, it could do a lot of the stuff, but the fact is, like, it doesn't get updates too often because it came out in 2019. There's probably a newer version around the corner now because this has been out for such a long time. So, and just overall, I feel like the speed of the Apple TV and its slenderness, just it looks sleek and fast. I'm still gonna pick the Apple TV 4K as my personal favorite. But let me know what you guys think in the comment sections below. And as always, smash that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.